Hi guys, I'm Enrico, the author of Privateers The Golden Decade. The aim of my project is to realize a game that can be enjoyable both from a casual player and also veteran player. I like games with fast turn that keep every player involved in the game anytime, even if they are not playing directly in that turn. The board game is made of 7 modules, one in the center with the pirate island, and 6 all around with the national harbor, and some point of interest. We have the fort, the headland, the cave, and the bay. Each point of interest have its own landing site indicated with the boat. On the module there are also some obstacles to the movement. We have rocks in the middle of the sea and we have shallows. The board game has millions of different combinations due to the fact that you can rotate the external modules, and each module is double-sided, including the pirate module. On the central module we also have other icons such as the starting point of the storm and the Kraken lair where the Kraken lives. We have the windrose diagram, and this is useful to understand where the winds bring the colonial ship during the play. The initial setup of the game board is made putting in the center the module with the pirate island and all around the other modules. You have to put some resources, the goods on the cave, some crew on the bay, and some sails on the headlands. To finish the board game setup, we have to put the colonial ship, this one for each national port. Each player has 2 pawns. One pawn is the ship and the other pawn is the cargo load. We will see this later on. The player chooses the color and then put his ship on one of the harbor of the pirate island. Each pirate takes the starting set that is made of pirate ship pawn, loading pawn, 20 doubloons, command token, 4 cove tokens, and the basic ship. The basic ship represents the ship of the pirate and has a few information on it. The value, 100 doubloons for the basic ship. The movement point, 6 at the starting of the game. The basic weapon and how many crew, that is 1 for the starting ship. We also have the space for extra sails and space for loading extra equipment. In this example of game for 2 players, we have the black player and the red player ready to go. The first player is chosen at random and starts the round activating the wind rose. The wind rose indicated southwest, so we check the wind direction from the center to southwest on the main board. This is the direction of the wind, so every colonial ship is moved by 2 steps according to the result of the wind rose. We move 2 steps this ship. We cannot move this ship because we have land here. The ships of the 2 players don't move because they are in port. During the restoration phase, this ship has 1 crew, so he can repair only 1 token. Goods can never be restored. The player chooses to restore the crew token, so it turns and the crew token is in full shape again. During next restoration phase, this player will have 2 crew on board. This means he can turn 2 damage token, but he cannot turn the goods because they can never be restored. So he decides to restore the sails to have 1 extra movement point and remove the hull damage to have an extra space for loading other equipments. The red player wants to get some extra crew, so he goes toward this point, according to the maximum movement we saw on his ship card. The red player got his extra crew, so he puts the crew token on his ship. The red player finishes movement. There are no ship around, so no combat phase. The red ship is not on a port, this one, so no trading phase. The red player jumps directly to the final phase, that is activating the Windrose again to get an event. The red player generated a treasure, so he gets one treasure token. He checks on the back side to see how much is worth, and without letting other player see the information, then he put the token on one of the three forts around the board game. In this case, the red player chooses to put the treasure on this fort. We have 6 possible events. Treasure. The player puts one treasure token on an empty fort. Storm. The player can move up to 5 tiles the storm shape. The castaway. The player takes one crew token, turns it on his damage side and put it on an empty fort. Colonial ship. The player can move up to 4 tiles a colonial ship pawn. Diplomacy. The player can choose one truce token and change it with the truce token actually in play. Kraken. The player can move up to 4 tiles the Kraken pawn. Now it's the black player turn. He has no damages on his ship, so he skips the restoration phase and goes directly to the movement phase. At the beginning of the game, he chooses to get some extra crew, but now he sees there is a treasure nearby. He's 7 steps away, so his basic movement is not enough. So he decides to play a command point and have 2 extra movement for this turn. And he goes here and gets the treasure. Only 2 players. The first round is finished. So the red player, that is the first player, at the beginning of the second round, activate again the Windrose to check the wind direction. The result is northwest, so every colonial ship and every player ship that is not in a port is replaced 2 steps in that direction. The shallows has no effect on the red ship because this is a replacement, not a movement. During the red player movement phase, the red player is angry at the black player because he stole his treasure, so he moves on the same hex of the black player and start a combat. Now we see the fight between the 2 players. The red player attacks the black player. The black player's ship has no extra weapon, so he has to defend himself with basic weapon. The red player has no extra weapon, but the red player has a common token that he wants to spend to gain the ability to use higher combat cards. So he decides to play as if it has on his ship the cannon weapon. So he plays with the red attacking card with the cannon icon. They made a choice and decide to play with those 2 cards. They turn the cards and confront them. The red card of the attacker is the captain card, so the red player takes damages to the hull, because the captain on the defender card shows 2 hull damages. The defender player also have played the captain, so he goes on the attacker card and check at the captain icon. He has to take hull damages too, but he takes 4 damages. The black player puts 1, 2, 3 hull damages to his ship. He cannot put 4 because there is no space available. The red player puts 1, 2 hull damages. Now we have to determine who is the winner. The attacker did 3 with his card. The defender did 1 with his card. So the attacker is the winner. And since he's the winner and the combat is between 2 players, the winner gets 1 common token. The red player is the attacker, and at the end of the combat he can choose to move his ship on one of the axes around the combat zone. So he decides to move here to get an extra sail. And now a little talk about the mission system. In Privateers The Golden Decade we have a modular mission made of action, object and place. In a game for 2 players we have 2 missions in play, and when a mission is accomplished we discard the components of the mission and we put in play a new mission. Action, object, place. This mission is a delivery mission of a Dutch letter of marque to the Hangman Bay. This is the board module of the Hangman, so this is the Hangman Bay. The black player wants to accomplish this mission because he has a Dutch letter of marque on his ship. So he goes to the Hangman Bay, he delivers the Dutch letter of marque and accomplish this mission. This mission reward is made of 2 tokens, so he collects 2 rewards, turns them and gets 35 doubloons, 1 crew token and 4 common token. At the beginning of the round, the first player activated the wind rose and got south. South is this direction according to the wind rose, from center to south. So every colonial ship moves 2 steps this direction. 1, 2, 1, 2. This ship is wrecked among the rocks, so he drops damaged sail on the sea. This ship went to the shoals, and in order to be more fast, he decided to drop overboard some cargo. So we have some damaged goods floating in the sea. Soon later, the red player that were nearby decide to move on the floating cargo and pick up the goods that he can store in his ship. The red player got some good in this location, so he put his loading pawn here to remember where the goods were loaded, and now he goes to the French port to sell them. He can access the French port because there is a truce token with France in play. The distance between the loading point and the selling point is 12 hexes. We take in account the shortest route that meet the loading point and the selling point. According to the table, 12 tiles are worth 22 doubloons. The red player has 2 goods, so he gets 22 doubloons for each of them. After selling the goods in the French port, the red player takes out of play his loading pawn. Then he wants to finish the trading phase acquiring a French letter of marque to be able to enter each French port anytime he wants. Usually, a letter of marque costs 16 doubloons, but since we have a France truce token in play, this letter of marque costs only 8 doubloons. Since the red player is still in his trading phase and has some extra doubloons, he decides to sell his ship and buy a new one. He wants to go for this one because it has a little less movement but a lot of extra cargo space. The value of his older ship is 100 doubloons. The value of the new ship is 131 doubloons. So he only has to pay 31 doubloons because the old ship is worth the full value. After some rounds, both players, black and red, have one pirate cove each. The black player is going to sail toward this English city to establish his second cove. At the beginning of his turn, the black player repairs his damaged sail and then heads full sail to the English town to transform it in a pirate cove. He can make this town his second cove. Since there are in play 3 pirates cove and this game is between 2 players, we have reached one ending condition. So the game is finished and we have to start counting the points. Who is the winner? Let's check. 1 point every 20 doubloons. 2 points if the player has changed his ship at least once. 1 point every 2 common tokens. 5 points for each pirate cove. 1 point each equipment on a ship. Even if it damaged, it counts. 3 points for the best value ship. 2 points for the second. 3 points for the most pirate cove. 2 points for the second. The winner is the red player with 22 points. The black player only 21 points. In the end, I hope you really enjoy this project, and I wish all of you can have a chance to play the game and enjoy it with their friends and families.